You are now tuned in to The Money Zone with your host, Folasade, the accountant for entrepreneurs. The time is now, your future waits, your money matters, make no mistake, it's not too late to dominate, so don't delay, get your money straight. The money zone, together we'll achieve your goals, we're building wealth, you're not alone, so don't delay, get your money straight.
Hey guys, welcome. Look, yes, I am tardy, I am late, but it was not my fault. Technical difficulties, guys. So guys, welcome to the Money Zone. I'm your host, Folasade, the accountability accountant, guys. I help entrepreneurs just like you incorporate their accounting and build profitable, scalable businesses. So guys, I'm like so excited. I'm kind of like all over the place because I've been trying to get into the studio to come and talk with you guys for over 45 minutes with no luck. But I have two amazing guests, a husband and wife duo that is dominating the franchise and finance and industry. The Lewises, okay? So they just released a book called The Family Financing and Franchises. And so we have the guests here and they've been waiting patiently to come and talk to you guys and school us on some wealth management, family, and finances. So before we pull them in, let me go ahead on and read their bio and then we're going to jump right into the content. So our guests, DeAnna and Clinton Lewis, aka Clint and DeAnna, are owners of 5 Wingstops and 4 Fat Burgers. So I know all my foodies, okay, love Wingstops and love Fat Burgers. They have received $1 million store club and top sales increase awards. A certified personal financial analyst, Clinton had over 25 years of experience in financial planning and wealth management. And with 25 years of experience as a social worker, having a bachelor's degree in business management and a master's degree in educational counseling, DeAnna founded Boss Sisters Connect, where empowerment cultivate bosses. She also co-founded Girls Win Inc., a nonprofit that helps girls in the foster care system. So can you guys help me welcome Clinton and DeAnna Lewis?
Hey guys.
Hey,
how are you?
Hi, how are you? Charming, like, and then I know Chan was like, where's Folasade? I'm always on time, always. And then today with you amazing guests. Thank you guys so much for giving me your grace this evening. I'm just so glad that you're here to grace our presence. So if you could just tell the people a little bit about you and Clint over there, DeAnna. Met and got started, and then we can go and do a deep dive into the financial part once I get some of that background information to plug.
A little bit of the history, right? A little bit of the
yes.
Well, we've actually this December we will be celebrating our 23 years of marriage. We have been together for 25 years. We met at good old church. And we have 2 amazing children. Our son is in college. Well, he's home now because Morehouse is shut down. But on virtually. He was a student at Morehouse College, and then my daughter is also a junior in college at San Jose State. She's a senior. Oh, Lord. The schools are still shut down in California, so I don't even know where I am. So she's a senior. Yes, she's a senior. And she's actually our basketball star, so she's there on a scholarship. And it's a difference when you pay full and when you get a full ride. So we kind of got the buy one, get one free thing going on right now.
I tell my son he better, kiss his sister every day.
Yeah.
That they will get a scholarship because she's paying for his or help paying for his.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So it's been 25 years total, 23 years marriage. See, look, guys, that's Black love right here.
Right.
Thank you. and in living color. So look,
Thank
I
you.
was sitting here doing a little bit of read. I went on your website and everything. So I just want to just jump right in because, you know,
Okay.
they try to take our time, if you don't mind.
That's
so
right.
look, one question that really excited me was, what prompted you guys to go into franchising?
You want to tackle that?
Yeah, I'll
one?
take it.
Yeah.
You know, so we were foodies anyway, right?
Mhm.
You know, so you know that just kind of was us. We didn't have any experience in regards to being in the kitchen, other than just you know cooking at your house for you know necessity purposes, right? You know, but you know we love going out to eat. So we were already customers of Wingstop for maybe about a year, year and a half. Because I'm in the financial service business, so in real estate we had little get-togethers, hors d'oeuvres, and everything like that to before the game, during an event. So Wingstop was already on our table. So just a light bulb came on, and Dee was like, "Okay, things are going good. We need to diversify. We need to do something else." So she wanted to bring a business back to her hometown, which is in Bakersfield, California, which is about maybe 2 hours north of LA.
That's right.
That's where she was born and raised. So we were like, we're tired of these places to eat in Bakersfield. There was nothing but fast food, McDonald's, Taco Bell, the 9 yards. And it's like, hey, we're foodies. We're used to in LA having some variety, right? Good dining experiences.
Right.
So we said, let's create our own. And we went ahead and did the research and found out what it takes to become a franchisee of Wingstop. And we did that in 2004, 2005. So we've been in the game for over 15 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. I didn't expect you to say 15 years because your website didn't tell me that information.
Nah.
So
we gotta update that
we gotta
website.
update.
yeah. 15 years, but I would have had way more questions. Okay, so so you guys are like the GOATs in this franchise. And so youngsters are like the newbies now with the 1 and 2 franchise. You guys are the
It's been a journey. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And so honestly, what gave you that confidence to just tell Clinton, you know what, hey, I'm tired of the food in this area. I think we should franchise or diversify. What gave you that confidence? Was it your financial literacy, financial background, or was it that you had all these degrees? Like what prompted you to be that confident with your decision to diversify you guys' portfolio?
Well, we've always felt like just having a whole bunch of money in the bank, that's good. That's great, right? But it only earns so much interest. Like he introduced me to finance very early on, and I'm still learning. I still sit at his feet, child, taking it all in, right? So we knew that there's only so much of a return you're going to get on that, right? Even if you do what we used to do back then, the CDs and stuff like that, right? Yeah. And he was doing and thriving. Clint was doing so well in his financial services business because I come from the social worker background. He was doing so well in the financial services business. At that time, the boom of the real estate was popping, here in California. Probably was popping everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But it was really doing well. And we've just always been firm believers. Having a whole bunch of money in the bank and having a whole lot of material things just weren't impressive. You know what I mean? So we were like, we need to be getting some return on this money.
Yeah.
Yes, saving is important. We're all for all of that, but we also wanted to look and I think at one time we kind of went in thinking, let's set ourselves up for retirement. Let's look at something else to do for retirement. And our money was nicely stacked in that account, right? But we knew we wanted to get into something. We had purchased a few houses at that time. Things were booming. Credit was in a great position because that's a whole other topic, child. We had to rebuild that credit from the ground up, honey. And so we just said, let's look into getting into a business that we can possibly maybe retire from. We looked at everything. We looked at Jamba Juice. We looked at Subway, and we knew that there was an absence of food options in Bakersfield. So we saw the absence first, right? You find the need, right? You find out something is missing. And we were like, hey, Bakersfield doesn't really have a lot of food place choices other than just the chains, right? And we even looked into McDonald's, and then they were like, okay, yeah, come to us for 3 years for school, and then we may or may give you a California location. Okay, that's not gonna work. Ain't nobody got time for that, literally, right? So we just did our research, and we were, like Clint said, we were fans of Wingstop before we were customers. We love the product. We love the food. So you got to always get into something, or I say you should get into something that you're passionate about and that you really like.
Yeah.
Like a vegetarian probably shouldn't open up a burger place, right? Vegetarian probably shouldn't open up a Wingstop. You can, I guess, if you're in that position and you just see it as just a money, but your passion really gonna be there because you don't know what the food tastes like, right?
Yeah, and it won't survive the downside.
It won't.
We went through the recession, so we had to go ahead and be committed to the love of the business, of the name, because Wingstop wasn't the Wingstop that you know it now.
Yeah, it wasn't
15
the
years
household
ago.
name. No,
you didn't even know Wingstop from Wing Street or Red Wing Shoes. I mean, it just wasn't household. So, people look at it and they really say, hey, Wingstop, that's going good, that's great, and everything like that, because it went public and it's done some great things, and you see it in today's thing. But think back 15 years ago when you didn't even know who Wingstop was.
Yeah, so
that's when we got involved.
Yeah.
So we were early and it hit for us. So thank God it was a good decision and hit. But it said we love the product. So we weren't really looking for it to be as big as it is now. That's just been a blessing. And we have 5 of them. But we were happy with just one and it being a good food option for our hometown.
That's right.
And it just grew from there.
Yeah.
Wow. So you guys were there before Rick Ross then, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, what? Yeah, he
yeah.
better bow down to this here queen. And I done told him before in person, so I ain't saying nothing I ain't already told him, right? Yeah. Way before. Yeah. Yes.
Oh my goodness. So Clinton, when you guys decided and said, you know what, you're going to take DeAnna idea into consideration, did you review their financial statements or did you do any financial research that our audience can take from today's show that allowed you to feel comfortable with investing and buying a franchise into Wingstop?
Absolutely. Yeah. At the time we looked up on the website, there's the FDD or finance development, document, right? Which tells all the numbers, the ins and outs of that particular franchisor. So we looked that up, we downloaded it. It's 1,200 pages. I mean, it's like you're being audited, right? It's like this big. So, but it has the little nuggets and that hey, how much is it going to cost to open? How much does it cost to run? How much liquidity? How much capital do you need? What kind of credit do you need to be in position for? Options for financing, because they strongly recommend that you just don't pay cash, for it. How much the franchise fees are, how much the development fees for different territories. So we did all of that. And one of the things that we tell in the book is that when we did all of that, we sat down and we weren't ready at the time. It took us about 9 months to go ahead and put ourselves in position before we can actually build up the courage to talk to them and to even email them. But we were ready. And guess what? When we emailed them, they didn't respond.
Yeah.
So you know what we did? We flew out to Dallas and we knocked on their door. Hey, you need a franchise in California.
And we're ready.
And we're ready.
Yeah.
Here's our bio. Here's our, numbers. Here's our things like that. And they were like, oh, really? Oh, yeah. No, we've called and we sent you emails a few times for the last 90 days and you haven't responded.
So we're here.
Wow. So you know what? Can I just interject for a minute? Guys, as you can hear from the Lewis's story, that was number one, persistence. Many of you entrepreneurs, when you don't get that initial response, like I even had someone message me on Instagram and I couldn't get respond right to them right away. Oh, never mind. And delete the comment. So I want you guys to look at the Lewis's situation and think about this. How many times did you just quit? How many times, because you did not receive that response from someone that you were waiting for, that you just stopped? No. Think about what the Lewis's did, and they knocked on the folks' door now, and that is bold. But then also what triggered me, what Clint said, he said they had to prepare themselves to be in the position to qualify or to be eligible to afford a Wingstop. So can you tell the audience, we don't have to tell them how much you're worth or anything like that, but can you tell them like maybe a simple strategy that you and DeAnna took to be able to build the savings or to be able to have enough money or assets saved to be in the position to qualify? To be able to purchase Wingstop?
All the franchisees or franchisors rather, they tell you what they want, as far as a total amount of assets, a total amount of net worth, liquidity. Normally it's somewhere around $250,000 net worth, maybe $100,000 liquidity. Every franchise is different, right? So you have to kind of look at your own financial statement and say, hey, do I meet this? And most of the time we fall short. That's just the way it is because we didn't know what we needed to do to prepare. So we put in the book, whether you're talking about getting a bank loan or whether you're talking to an angel investor or some type of person investing, we talk about the 5 C's in business, right? That you need. I said you need the capital, you need the credit, you need the capacity, you need the collateral, and then you need the character. So those are the 5 C's that you need, and they're going to ask you, how do you fall in line in this? Do you know how to run the business? We didn't have the capacity because guess what? We weren't in food. Right. We weren't chefs. We didn't go to Cordon Bleu or whatever and get a chef degree. So that we were kind of lacking. I said we felt that we had good character because we're trustworthy individuals. So if you give us the keys to the franchise, we're going to do it right? We're going to follow instructions. It's the business in the box. We didn't have the collateral, nor did we have the credit, or the capital. So we kind of had to work on those things. So once we put those things together, the only thing that we were missing was the capacity. And guess what? When you have a franchise, they teach you, they train you. You went training in Texas for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So guess what? Now you got the 5 things that you need to run a successful franchise or successful business, because it doesn't matter if it's franchise. We just like the franchisee aspect of it because we didn't know what we were doing in the kitchen. So we're just being plain with you. Yeah. So we needed somebody to give us help. Business in the box. Now I know, but back then I'm used to doing numbers like you. As said, used to hot plates and fryers and stuff like that. So, you learn as you go. But we wanted to go ahead and have the best chance for success, and we chose a winner, babe. I just don't know how else to say it. I mean, it was a blessing, but it all started with we love that lemon pepper anyway. So if we never did anything but be customers for 15 years, of our own product, what they say? It said don't get high on your own supply. I think we're guilty because we just had some Wingstop the other day, and even this is how funny it is and how much we love. We even, when we're not in town, we even buy the product somewhere else from other brand partners.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So we're hooked. That's just it. We're hooked.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And you know what? See, guys, this is the prime examples that you have to eat, sleep, and breathe your brand. Many of you are feeling like this imposter syndrome, because I've been getting this. One of my colleagues is doing a course online, and he mentioned this imposter syndrome. But I noticed many entrepreneurs are facing this imposter syndrome because they haven't actually lived their business. They haven't sat in the seat and said, okay, if I was a customer, how would I feel? If I was this, how would I feel? And they haven't incorporated that inside and succinct it to their lives and their lifestyles. So you may feel like, oh, it's not possible for me to do this, or I can't do what DeAnna and Clint did. Yes, you can. What did they just do? They were persistent.
Yes.
They prepared. Okay. In addition to preparation, guess what? They coach themselves and they end up getting training. What many people are trying to avoid, they've gotten the training, and they've also put all of this knowledge into their book, Faith, Family, and Franchise, 13 lessons for couples to create a heart-centered business, okay? So guys, you definitely want to go to their website. I'll put the link. So you'll go to www.faithfamilyfranchise.com and then hit the shop button. You'll go right to their book, both hard copy and soft copy there. But this is the thing, guys, just focus on the goal and do the research. Yeah. If they did research, they would have continuously sat in the bed wondering if they can afford.
That's right. That's right.
They also concluded that, and I've said this to many of you for years and years, I've been doing my live streams, that you have to make up your mind. What lifestyle do you want? Do you want to have the flashiness and the Mercedes, but you're broke? Or you want to have the millions of dollars saved and invested well so you can be in Lewis's situation and have some cushion to be able to invest into a Wingstop? Like, what lifestyle do you guys want? That is the mere question that before we go into my next questions for the Lewises, is that I want many of you to ask yourself, what is it that you really want? Because if you want to build generational wealth like the Lewises are doing, and like me and my husband are doing, and like many of my colleagues and my clients are doing, then you have to now make sacrifices. And those sacrifices might be the travel. The sacrifices might be the Gucci bag. The sacrifices might be the school's tuition, private school for maybe 1 year so you can put that money, save. Like, are we willing to sacrifice the now for the later?
That's right. That's perfect.
And it's only temporary. It's not a sacrifice that's permanent.
Yeah.
It's just a temporary sacrifice
to
that
get
will lead
to what your goal is, what the plan you laid. You keep saying, know the lifestyle you want, which we like to refer it as know your numbers. Like, right? You gotta know how much it's going to cost to do the business. You gotta know how much profit you want to see on the other side of it. You gotta know how much does it cost to build. You have to know your numbers, and then you have to know how much money you need to make every month to survive. You know what I mean? You gotta know your numbers. You have to.
Oh my goodness. So can you give the audience an example of if this has ever happened, which you shouldn't, Clint, okay, where you didn't manage the numbers or you didn't know your numbers and it kind of sank or impacted the business financially? Like, you not knowing your numbers.
Well, I mean,
no, we had some growing pains.
No. Well, I mean, I'll just take you back to 2008. That says, so we made our kind of fortune, or we made our money, right, in the real estate department. I have 8 professional licenses. So, outside in the financial advisor, thing, from real estate broker to insurance broker, stocks, investments, mortgages, we do it all, right? So most of the people remember from 2001, which is 9/11, we just kind of passed, the 19th year of remembrance. When that happened up until about 2008, we had about a 7-year run on the market, in real estate. So anybody I say that could fog a mirror, if you could do like this, we can put you in a house. That's kind of how simple it was, right? And we were making money hand over foot. So we did make money, but we invested it, and that's how we got the Wingstop, right? So, but what happened also with that bubble, it burst, right? In 2008, and it impacted everybody in the country, right? So it in the book, this is all just common knowledge because it's in the book, right? So I'm not telling too many secrets, but everybody went under. And we have a saying in the book, when our own house came in question or suspect whether we were going to lose or not. What did you say, babe?
Packing or painting.
Yep. So that's what it was. Okay. So hey, the numbers. You need to tell me. You need to tell me now. Are we paying? So are we gonna stay here, or are we packing up and we gotta roll out?
Yeah.
It was just that simple. Yeah. So we had to kind of do reassessments, at everything, which the whole country was, and we end up actually losing a store. We had 2 at that time before the recession hit, and one store wasn't doing as well as it should. So instead of losing everything, we closed it down. Yeah. So we had to go ahead and just save our home. So we had a place to sleep and save the one store
that was still kind of doing okay. You know what I mean? It was at least able to take care of itself, meaning we didn't have to go into our own personal pocket to meet payroll. So we okay, let's keep the store that is at least taking care of itself. Right. And for the listeners, I even got to the point that I had left the Los Angeles County social worker job and I went back. Yeah. Because what I don't believe in, why sit and get into the fetal position and just feel like it's over, my life is over, there's nothing we can do. Watch yourself lose everything. No, that's why I had the degrees, right? Let me dust off these suits and let me get back to work. And then Clint went back to doing what he had to do. It was not, we opened up the Wingstop and it's been thriving ever since. No. It took us 7 years to get the first $1 million store recognition. Yeah.
7
And we didn't
put ourselves on payroll for 7 years. We had little bonus moments where we were able to get some type of money back,
when it was consistent.
But nothing consistent. It was inconsistent. So folks that's trying to start business tomorrow and then, be $100,000 in the bank after 90 days. We tell this to our kids, my son especially. It does not happen like that. You got to put the work in. You got to put the research in. You got to know your business better than everybody else.
I am sitting here just enjoying it. And today my internet, okay. and we're like winding down. So I want to just ask you, I need to ask my team, could we have you again once we get maybe back into the studio and get settled to kind of out? Because I know just from your experience dealing with the top 2 franchise. See, guys, we didn't even talk about Fat Burger and their experiences with Fat Burger yet.
Right.
And I know many of our people are like very curious because they're thinking about doing the trucking franchise and just thinking about so many
options. Yeah.
So many opportunities. So if you were at home and you guys didn't have what you had right now, we were completely in this state that we're in. We didn't have the businesses. We had $50,000, you and Clint.
Mm-hmm.
What would you be doing with that $50,000 today if you had it sit in a bank, you didn't need to touch it, and you didn't have any of the franchises set up? Where would your investment go? Where would you make an investment?
I would be looking at opportunities right now during the pandemic. There are so many opportunities that have sprung up where you're doing a direct sales business where you can buy direct, set up a online shop where you can sell, goods and services. You can do virtual conferences. So everything right now is all not having to have a brick or mortar where you have to touch and feel somebody
and pay rent and lights.
And have that overhead, right?
Right.
So I would be looking and searching for opportunities like that. Maybe, get a wholesaler's license, buy something for $5 and sell it for 10, or 20 or 30, so that and increase your online presence. That would be what I would.
And food, if you can cook.
Yeah.
I mean, food is, I'm telling you, everything that's on the stock market that has the higher number is all food. It's pizza, it's chicken. Yeah. I know we're up there in the top 5. Chick-fil-A is there, but again, those are hundreds of thousands of dollars. But you're 50. Saying with the 50,000, you can still you may have something that you know how to cook. You may have a grandma's pie recipe, right? The holidays are coming.
But this is the thing. What I would say, okay, this is the true facts of it. We have gotten away from the idea of investment clubs. See, when I first got into the financial service business,
that's good.
20 and 30 years ago,
good.
It was investment clubs.
Yes.
Pool your money together. If you got 50, your friend has 50. You get 5 friends together, you got $250,000. You got $250,000, you can make some moves.
You can make
some moves. But you have to do it collectively, and you have to do it together. And I promise you, you will be bossing up.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So you guys just tapped into generational wealth, in-home banking or family banking.
Yeah.
Okay. And so guys, listen to this. We were not even able to do a deep dive with the Lewises at all on a caliber in which I wanted to due to the technical issues that we face today. But just off the smear basic conversation that we've had with the Lewises is a few key pointers that you want to pull out of this conversation. They didn't jump into any business without doing their research. Remember, research is key. As you can see with DeAnna, she's still researching. She's talking about food is at the top of the stock market and everything. Says she's looking for opportunities. So I don't know, many of you have seen, you hear everybody say, Patrick Bet-David, Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone, everybody is telling you save, save, save because opportunities are coming. And the way that DeAnna eyes popped up when I asked her why to put that 50,000, she was thinking about the stock and all of the opportunities that's out there, then that should give you the sign, guys, that passion and that purpose that you have balled up in, it is time for you to release that baby. They already mentioned to you, and I've said this several times, this is the lowest entry to barrier, the lowest opportunity, the cheapest opportunity to start any businesses across the board. And really, the only way for us to build generational wealth is by having our own.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Lewises, I bet, when they buy sell agreements, everything, they succession plans, it incorporates the franchises going over to their daughter and their son and rolling over in their wheel and having all of their paperwork in order because it's theirs. Even if it's a franchise, it's theirs. Okay.
Yes.
And then the beauty of it is this, the knowledge that they are acquiring. If they pass this down to at least one of their children, that is again building generational wealth because their son or the daughter, whichever one, now will take that advice and double whatever that they leave them and make it more money, guys. So we're looking at the definition of family building generational wealth through their businesses.
Yes.
So if I were you, I would sit down and consider one thing. First of all, go to their website, www.faithfamilyandfinances. Well, don't add the and part. faithfamilyfranchise.com. Okay. You want to go and check out their book, 13 Lessons for Couples to Create a Heart-Centered Business. And even if you're not a couple, right, you still have to have a heart-centered business. Mm-hmm. This is why you're able to make decisions. And you see how comfortable they are with whomever brings ideas. That's that heart-centered, God-centered, spiritual center. So do you have any last words that we want to leave the audience? I am so upset right now, honestly. I'm so disappointed.
We coming back. Don't worry. We just let us know when we're available. Right? We are available. We are.
Oh my goodness! Thank goodness. So if you can just tell us just one thing that you would leave us about family, franchising, and financing. If you could just leave us one graceful word or anything that you would like to leave us with.
It's all about just the consciousness. You have to kind of know.
I was going to say commitment, but you said consciousness. Okay.
You have to know in order to be able to
grow,
to think about it, to believe it, to achieve it. So if you don't know, we're trying to pass the information and the knowledge. We've been blessed to have, the experience that we've had. Her in the social work to deal with people, me in the financial service business to kind of be on the behind the scenes, back of the house, type of thing. So we want to just impart that information to the people of the next generation, so they can go ahead and take it and to run with it. So we just want to see, they can inbox us, they can call us. We'll be more than happy to come back. Email us. That anything that we can do to help the next one coming is what we committed to do.
That's right.
Okay. Well, guys, I want to say thank you so much for gracing your presence here with us on the Money Zone. Guys, we have to shut for the next show. And like I said, I'm so upset. But we love you guys, and we'll be seeing you.
Thank you.
Don't forget, follow them, okay? On Instagram and everywhere else, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.